today. It's going to be a really great show. I appreciate those of you who are joining us on 989 The Answer, and whether you are watching us on the multiple live streams that we have, Bruce Hooley Show, 989 The Answer Facebook page, my personal social media pages for the first hour. Appreciate your time. And it's amazing how the headlines coalesce around each other and sort of prove one central theme as we enter the heat of this election season. And it is that theme that Democrats do not just disagree with us on policy, they disagree with our very existence. And it's taken a lot of people who are supposedly conservatives, who are supposedly devoted to truth, a long time to recognize that. But they are recognizing it, albeit sometimes it takes strange things to help them recognize it, which we will get into all of that. Talk with Senate candidate Bernie Moreno at 12:05. Talk with Gary Click, Ohio General Assembly House member. Gary Click, the guy doing literally God's work, joining with Jenna Powell of Arcanum to pass the SAFE Act and the Save Women's Sports Act in one bill. The threatened lawsuit by the American Civil Liberties Union has transpired. Yesterday afternoon, the ACLU filed in Franklin County Common Pleas Court a lawsuit challenging the legality of not allowing doctors to mutilate children sexually under the age of 18. And the ACLU lawsuit also challenged the legality of doctors not being allowed to chemically castrate boys and to permanently alter the DNA of girls with gender hormones and puberty blockers. I kind of wondered whether this suit would come. I thought it was a lot of bluster. I thought it took him a long time to do it. But Gary Click, who again will join us at 12:35, said that he knew this was coming. And why wouldn't the ACLU file this case? I mean, you remember when Roe versus Wade was overthrown, Ohio had a heartbeat bill already passed into law. It was hung up by the federal law, which allowed abortions under the Roe versus Wade precedent. Then when the Dobbs decision came down, Ohio and other states that had heartbeat bills or had more restrictive limits on abortion, those laws then went into effect. Well, then a lawsuit was filed in Franklin, in Hamilton County Common Pleas Court, and one judge in one of Ohio's 88 counties was allowed to hold up the enforcement of the heartbeat bill, which is a very nice way of saying allow the unfettered murder of innocent unborn children, until issue 1 went down to defeat in the state of Ohio because of horrific messaging by all the pro-life organizations that couldn't figure out a way to work together, and conservative politicians in the state who were unable to find their voice on it. So now the ACLU is coming back. They're trying to keep the SAFE Act and the Save Women's Sports Act from becoming law on, I think it was April 24th that it was scheduled to go into effect. And here is a quote from Chase Strangio, the Deputy Director for Transgender Justice at the ACLU. Remember, justice does not need a modifier, okay? Anytime you hear about some kind of justice, environmental justice, social justice, transgender justice, now, if you got to modify it, it's probably not justice. It's probably just ideology or zealotry. But here's a quote from Chase. "We refuse to allow lawmakers to move forward with these cruel restrictions that directly harm transgender young people. Families are now confronted with the extremely difficult decision of fleeing the state they call home to protect their children, or allowing them to go without the care they and their doctors know is right for them." Well, I'm curious, Chase, if you're so positive about that, why is WPATH retracting all of its statements, which sound a lot like yours, that this care is needed, that it's necessary? Why in Europe are they banning these surgeries and these treatments? Because they've had a longer term to evaluate them, because they've figured out, given that longer term, they don't work. They harm kids. They actually consign kids to a life of misery. And we have ample stories told here in the United States of America by kids like Chloe Cole and others who have undergone these treatments and who have said, I was horrifically harmed by these procedures. But, you know, you got your big umbrella of political power, your LGBTQ agenda, which none of those individual letters are compatible with the others. But boy, when you can muster your collective political muscle together under one umbrella, and you got to add a plus sign so we can add more demented, demonic freak organizations like, wait for it, pedophiles, LGBTQP's coming. We're going to decriminalize pedophilia. We're certainly going to try. We're going to put that P under the umbrella any day we can, because Joe Biden needs your votes. The Democrats need your votes. And you're all going to assemble under one happy, heretical umbrella. And the ACLU is more than happy to represent you and file nonsense lawsuits like this lawsuit filed yesterday on behalf of two 12-year-old transgender Ohio girls and their families, one from Hamilton County, woke central, and one from Franklin County, also woke central, arguing they would lose critically, medically necessary health care. No, what they would get is truth and people who genuinely care for them rather than their whacked parents who, through some freaky Munchausen by proxy syndrome or something else, are more than willing to use their kids as political pawns or as medical experiments to prove their own political zealotry. ACLU legal director Frida Levinson said the ban is cruel. It is not based on science and it is unconstitutional. Really? It's not based on science? Well, it certainly is based on science. Frida. So this is not surprising, but definitely troubling, and we will talk with Gary Click about it at 12:35 today, as Gary was the one who led the fight on it, and he is very up to speed on the latest news developments around the U.S. and around the world that disprove a lot of the lies that the ACLU makes in this lawsuit. Now, let me transition to another story I learned about last night that is deeply, deeply troubling. And it involves a former girls' high school basketball coach here in the Columbus area at Worthington Christian High School. Jason Dawson, he's no longer the coach there. He left, I think, 3 years ago. He was the guy who was training Malachi Branham, the Ohio State basketball star who was a one and done to the NBA. Jason Dawson and other players would get together at 6 o'clock in the morning, do workouts, and he would teach at Worthington Christian. Then he was the basketball coach at Worthington Christian. They got to the state final. They were beaten in the state final by a super team of AAU studs that magically showed up at the same private school one day. But Mr. Dawson, it appears to me, if these allegations are true, is going to go away for a long time, and he should go away for a long time. He's 35 years old. He was arrested in North Carolina earlier this week. The allegations are that he had a frequent and ongoing sexual relationship with a female player under his on his team. That this the frequency of this is deeply troubling. Reports, some have it. They had sexual relations somewhere between 70 and 100 times. That Jason Dawson sent video of them having sex to the girl, which I don't know how that's not child pornography. He's charged right now with 2 felony counts of sexual battery involving a minor and 1 felony count of pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor. They've got 3 videos off the girl's phone. So this is an example of why, even in a place where this would be totally unexpected, a Christian school, and full disclosure, my kids go to this school. And it troubles me as a parent that this went on that there was not oversight to prevent this from going on. I don't know how this can possibly happen without somebody having a red flag go off and see it. So this is horrific. But it points out, here's what it points out. It points out that you as a parent have to be involved in everything your kids are doing. That even when you entrust your children to people who purportedly work for organizations that are completely and totally, you would think, safe, that it still requires your vigilance to make sure that your kids are safe.
Partly sunny this afternoon, the high today 51. Clear and cold tonight, low 29. Partly sunny for tomorrow, the high 54. For tomorrow evening, cloudy, low 36. Partly sunny on Friday, the high 60. On Saturday, cloudy.
Thanks for joining us today. We're in commercial. I'll be back in about 4 minutes.
On Sunday,
and
cloudy, rain, thunderstorm, and high 61.
Hit a topic out of Kent State University.
The Answer.
You'll sleep better knowing you got a great deal on a great mattress because you got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet for any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. You heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-353-2973 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
Ready for an adventure of a lifetime?
All right, back with the prep I need. Thanks. I'll look up some. What is the BDS movement? This is a boycott, divest, and something about it's an anti-Israel thing. I know. Nancy Pelosi was. Here it is. International support for Israel. Of course. Of course. Oh, college kids. Why are you such idiots? Why? Because your brains aren't fully developed. That's why. But let's let you cut off your genitals and make life-altering decisions, even though you're not smart enough to know what you're doing when you're doing it. Yes, I know I'm on camera. No, I don't care because that's the truth.
As you journey back, the train moves sluggishly, every inch weighed down by a nation mourning your father's loss. Life throws curveballs, and for Robert Kennedy Jr., it was a journey marked by highs and lows. His story is one of resilience, tragedy, and redemption. The Real RFK Jr., the most important documentary of the year, witness his incredible journey and his legacy.
What nut jobs?
Watch it free at the RFK movie.
What utter nut jobs?
The Real RFK Jr., a story that needs to be told. Visit the rfkmovie.com now.
What does a waterfall have to do with a... How do mountains relate to... How is anything like... What's the similarity between... And... The answer is they are all parks, because the National Park Service isn't just about unspoiled nature. It's also about history, recreation, remembrance, and so many other things. Find out what a park can be to you at findyourpark.com.
Hey, I think I told you guys that Monday, a nice lady named Carol stopped by, soft step carpet and floorings store in Plain City on 161, not far from Costco, just wanted to meet me. I really consider it an honor that you guys consider me a trusted source for information. Here's the thing, though. I would also consider it an honor if you would trust me to be your source when it comes to flooring jobs at your house, carpet, LVP, luxury vinyl plank, wood, tile, look with more durability and totally moisture-proof, waterproof. If you're a contractor, a remodeler, a person who does mitigation in a home and you're going to need flooring, I really would love to partner with you to help build that side of my professional life. Because as you can imagine, with a craniotomy and a brain cancer diagnosis, there are bills to pay. So reach out to me, brucehooley@gmail.com, brucehooley@gmail.com, or go to my website, brucehooley.com, click on flooring, or stop by the store, leave a message for me. Our phone number is 614-873-0001, soft step carpet and flooring. Well, they are very upset at Kent State University. Why? Because their team lost in the MAC tournament to Akron on a not a very smart play by a Kent State player. Well, I'm sure they're upset about that. But they're more upset about a pending visit to campus sponsored by Turning Point USA. You go, Charlie Kirk. And the guest speaker coming to campus is Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse, right? He went to Wisconsin amid the George Floyd riots to try to provide some security. And he had a couple of woke idiots who decided they would try to kill him. And he was armed with an AR-15. He defended himself. He went to court. And he was found innocent, not guilty. Okay? So since then, Kyle Rittenhouse has become somebody who talks about his life, things that happened to him, his belief in the Second Amendment. But here is the headline on the story entitled, "Murderer! Kent State Students Protest Upcoming Kyle Rittenhouse Speech." Put your name on that. He can sue you and take all your money. Some students at Kent State University in Ohio are speaking out against Turning Point USA arranging Kyle Rittenhouse to talk on campus. Why? Why, Bruce? Because they say that the presence of a, quote, murderer may potentially incite more violence. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if there is more violence around Kyle Rittenhouse's visit to Kent State University, it will not be Kyle Rittenhouse and his AR-15. It will not be Turning Point USA people who want to go and listen to the speech. It will be the knuckleheads who have slandered him by calling him a murderer, who will be pounding on windows, throwing rocks, throwing cans of soup, frozen water bottles. It will be the people decrying the violence who will be committing the violence. Take that to the bank. It says in this story that since his trial, Rittenhouse has advocated for gun rights and the Second Amendment. How dare he advocate for something in the U.S. Constitution? And he has often referenced the misinformation surrounding his story. The temerity of this kid, correcting lies told about him. How dare he? Doesn't he understand he's just a pincushion for the left and that he has to absorb and take every single insult they hurl his way? Come on, Kyle Rittenhouse, get with the program. You're a convenient target for the left. You're not going to jail, but we should still be able to call you whatever we want to call you and label you however we want to label you. Now, I will say that there is one smart kid on the Kent State campus. His name is Brady Seymour. He is the president of the Turning Point USA chapter. And Brady, listen to him, children at Kent State and elsewhere. Brady says this: no matter what side you're on, if you're trying to make a difference in the world, there will always be people that hate you for it. Sounds like Brady had amazing parents to me. However, Kent State's Turning Point USA Instagram post promoting Rittenhouse's visit to campus has been labeled as one student organization as, quote, genuinely detrimental to the student body. I have an idea. If you think like the poster from this organization, and I'm going to dignify them by giving them their name and additional publicity. But if you think that, as this poster says, racism at Kent State, featuring Kyle Rittenhouse, didn't he shoot like white people too? He was an equal opportunity protector of his own life, I believe. I don't even know if he shot anybody of color. Racism at Kent State. Why? Because it was a George Floyd-related riot? Like, what's racist about it? Kent State is, and here's what the poster says. Kent State is allowing this murderer on our campus. And there's a QR code. Kyle, scan that with your phone and sue the Lululemons off of them, okay? So this is one thing going on out there on our college campuses. Let me take you elsewhere. Vanderbilt University, where they had on their student election ballot, their student government ballot, a BDS referendum. What is BDS? It stands for boycott, divestment, and sanctions. In other words, it's trying to get people not to invest in anything that could remotely possibly be linked to or help Israel, right? Because Israel is a bunch of colonizers, and the poor terrorists in Gaza don't have enough food to eat and water to drink because the terrorists in the tunnels have stolen it all, and that's Israel's fault, even though they're trucking in 100 trucks a day of humanitarian aid. But at Vanderbilt, they're very upset because the university said, we're not putting that on the stupid student ballot. Why let them vote on something that we're not going to do anyway? We're going to invest where we want to invest. So they took it off the ballot, and now there is, renting of clothes and gnashing of teeth and all kinds of stuff. Here's a flavor of what's going on in the Vanderbilt president's hallway to his office, the corridor. How dare they? Oh, shame on you. Oh, a terrible man. Oh, a terrible man. Absolute coward. They're all wearing masks, by the way. Okay, I can't take any more of that. Sorry. Now the students are very upset because they've been there 30 hours, and they're not letting them get up and go to the bathroom. They have to do their business in bottles, or they have to hold it. I applaud this, waiting them out. I think it's hilarious that if they're going to come and protest and try to hold up campus business and they didn't plan for it. And they're also mad that they can't get up and leave and go get food. And they're super mad that they thought they hit the jackpot. Somebody delivered Panera, and they thought, one of our compatriots in protesting has delivered Panera. No, the Panera was for the police officers who were in the hallway, who are being cursed at and scolded by these rich elite punks who attend a school that costs $86,000 a year, who think that entitles them to tell Vanderbilt University how to invest its money that feeds the endowment that allows all the research to go on at the school that they will benefit from when they get their degree. Oh, the stress of having to pee in a bottle, having to go 30 hours without food. Pack a PB&J if you're going to try to protest and turn the decisions of a major university. How are we going to survive with youth like this, who, as my father would say, don't have the sense to pound sand down a rat hole?
They were on the bridge when it collapsed early yesterday morning after being hit by a cargo ship.
All right. Obviously, we were not in commercial there.
Judge in New York imposing a gag order on Mr. Trump, this on the so-called hush money criminal trial. The Supreme Court has heard arguments in a challenge to FDA approval of the abortion pill.
Someone needs to deliver them some pizzas. Yeah, no kidding. That would be hilarious. Chocolate brownies. Here you go. X-Lax brownies for everybody.
About 30 rockets launched from Lebanon into northern Israel earlier today. Hezbollah claims responsibility for the attack. On Wall Street, the Dow up 226 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords.
One of them is Holy Bible. It's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnau, a news analyst and best-selling author and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. The Precious Metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text FAITH to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your
news, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM. The Answer.
MEP.
Where you go with The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people. Chris Dominic is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
He knows firsthand what it's like to live under communism. That's why he'll boldly tell you that America truly is the shining city on the hill. He's Sebastian Gorka, and he's on America First, weekday afternoons from 3 to 5 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
You know, I vividly remember being a kid and watching my dad when he was about my age walk and like get up from a chair and moan and his joints would creak. And I thought, boy, I never want to be that guy. Well, I wish QC Kinetics had been around when my father was my age. And I'm super glad that it's around now, because if you have hip pain, joint pain, wrist pain, ankle pain, knee pain, any pain at all, you think you got arthritis and you need to have, you know, some kind of operation or whatever. No. QC Kinetics. It is a great treatment that used to be available only to the rich and to the elite, but now, because it's been pioneered and perfected, it is a process by which they take your body's natural healing agents, they're called platelets, and they concentrate them. They take them out of your body, they concentrate them, they put them back into your body in the area where it is affected. Your body is designed to heal by God. Why not let it do what it's designed to do with a little help from QC Kinetics? Contact their local office for your free consultation. You can do so by calling 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics. So I invented a new word today, and the word is amusiating. Amusiating is a collaboration of amusing and nauseating. And I invented that word after watching several conservative commentators yesterday have their moment of clarity, a new enlightenment that the left is evil. Now, how did they arrive at this amazing revelation? The firing by NBC News of Ronna Romney McDaniel as a paid contributor to NBC News. That was it. A bridge too far for people who have existed on the conservative right, supposedly, and have said that Ronna Romney McDaniel, the former Republican National Committee chair, being hired by NBC News and then going on Meet the Press, and Chucky Todd, throwing a hissy fit about her lack of credibility, and that NBC News, which emboldened Kristen Welker to do the same thing, which emboldened Rachel Maddow to do the same thing, and Joy Reid to do the same thing. It was basically like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where Jack Nicholson, not allowed to watch the World Series on TV, started narrating it, even though there was nothing for him to narrate, and it drove Nurse Ratched crazy. Well, the belly aching of the NBC privileged few so bothered NBC News that they ceded, I was going to say all credibility, but they didn't have any to begin with, to the inmates. And now Ronna Romney McDaniel is out of a job. But that's predictable. I mean, she didn't kowtow. She didn't become Michael Steele, who's also a former RNC chair. It's fine for Michael Steele to be on NBC and MSNBC because he hates Trump. And he hates you if you are a Trump voter. And that's what this is all about. This is about exclusionary opinions, because if you are presented with a balanced opinion, let's see, gas prices were $2.40 when Trump left office. Oh, they're $3.67 now, but they're coming down. If you hit them with facts, then they don't like that because they know that those facts will undermine their position. So this is how the meltdown started on NBC. Full disclosure. Wah. Why would you be involved? Journalists at NBC News.
Professional dealings with the
nice
RNC
joke.
6 years. Gaslighting have been met with character assassination.
Oh, because they always tell the truth on NBC.
If we were, we would have strongly objected to it.
NBC News, either wittingly or unwittingly, election deniers, that what they can do stretches well beyond appearing on our air in interviews to peddle lies about the sanctity and integrity of our elections, but that they can do that as one of us, as badge-carrying employees of NBC News.
There is an easy way to avoid.
Okay, I can't do this anymore. These idiots. As badge-carrying employees of NBC News. Okay, are these the people who pushed the Russia collusion hoax for like years? Yes. Are these the people who said Hunter Biden's laptop wasn't real before they authenticated it and said it was real? Yes. Okay, so they don't have a monopoly on truth. But we've known, I've known, you've known, because you're not a moron like these conservative commentators who are like, oh, my goodness, like they fired Ronna Romney McDaniel. Like, I can't believe how evil they are. This is amazing to me. So let me get this straight. Okay, all you like welcome to the party pal people who finally realized that through Ronna Romney McDaniel not being allowed on NBC News, this is your don't cry for me Argentina moment. Like, really? Not when they've advocated for years to suck the brains out of children in the womb of women who treat abortion like a condom, just a way to get rid of a pregnancy they don't want. That didn't clue you in. Not the way they have attacked First Amendment freedoms and appointed a Supreme Court justice who said, well, I don't know, the government, you might be hamstringing the government here from policing people's speech if you force us to allow them to have their First Amendment privileges. That didn't clue you in. Not the undermining of Israel trying to survive as a nation with genocidal terrorists on its borders, and the way the Democratic Party has backstabbed Israel and called for, in a democratic country, new elections to appoint a new leader. That didn't put you on notice that these people might be evil. Not the Green New Deal boondoggle, where they're forcing climate crap down your throat and telling you we need to eliminate carbon emissions while they do nothing to preach and prattle on to India, Russia, and China, who are the world's biggest polluters. That didn't give you a hint that these people might not be trustworthy. Not when they wanted to defund the police. Not anything they did. Not when they wanted to cut the genitals off teenagers. Not when they wanted to poison them with puberty blockers. Not when they lie to you every single day about wages being up and prices being down, when you know in your heart, because you go to the grocery store and your brain works, that both are reversed, that it's wages that are down and prices that are up. None of that put you on notice that the left was untrustworthy. It took them firing one of your squishy friends, whose name you like to drop at parties, as being unfit to appear on their network full of liars and imbeciles. That's what clued you in that the left is evil. Wow. Glad you're part of us now, Captain Obvious, and all your other acolytes. Unbelievable that people, oh, this Ron, now this is the end. I cannot abide. Don't watch their network. Why were you watching it in the first place? Why were you letting them pour their poison in your brain? Here, of course, is one of the chief liars at NBC, Rachel Maddow, who thinks she runs the network, and in fact, she probably does. I guess Rachel didn't want to be embarrassed in this segment and speak, so we'll try her again. All right, I don't know what's going on with that, but this is just like, you have had so many opportunities to realize, and you know what? These are the people who they have this overwhelming desire to reach across the aisle, to work with other people, to compromise. These are the John Thunes and the Mitch McConnells and all these knuckleheads who are supposed to represent us, but instead represent their own interests because being in government is a great gig. Okay. And they don't want don't let anything like intellectual honesty intrude on the fact that, well, I got to run for real. This is why you get people like Matt Dolan, who co-sponsor the Fairness Act in the state of Ohio. This is why you get congressional representatives like Mike Carey, who vote for legitimizing gay marriage. This is why you get people like this. And then you wonder, well, why is our country deteriorating? Why is there no commitment to truth in our legislators? Because they've put you on notice as to who they are and what they really stand for, and you haven't listened to them. I tell you all the time about the left. When they tell you who they are, when they try to take away your rights to free speech, when they target parents at school board meetings, when they are decidedly and unrepentantly anti-God, listen to them. They are telling you, they are not only telling you, they are advertising it with a neon sign. The same is true of the people you vote for, who you think are on your side, but they are not. I know NBC is not authentic. I knew Ronna Romney McDaniel was going to end bad for her there. But for the people who say they didn't realize it, where were you?
Today 51, clear and cold tonight, low 29. Partly sunny for tomorrow, the high 54. For tomorrow evening, cloudy, low 36. Partly sunny on Friday, the high 60. On Saturday, clouds and breezy, couple of showers. High on Saturday at 62. Passing shower on Sunday, high 62. And then Monday, cloudy, rain, thunderstorm, high 61. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords. One of them is Holy Bible. It's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnau, a news analyst, a best-selling author, and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. The Precious Metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text FAITH to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity.
Hi, my name is Brian Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax.
We started our company 10 years ago in an effort to help our fellow Christians experiencing tax issues resolve their matters by taking a simple three-step approach.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys specializing in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We're the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results. We're also a small firm who will treat you like family, not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail for lack of counsel. But with many advisors, they succeed. Call today at 1-800-TAX-1176. Together, we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
It's easy and profitable to be kind to others when you... Well, the Fox News Tonight Common Sense Department. A new act of kindness that you can do for others. On April 15th, you could win $2,500, and a deserving organization will also receive $2,500 in your name. You can make a difference in others' lives when you enter the Kindness Challenge.
Get all the details and enter today at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
We all know that aches and pains come with simply getting
older. Said Gorka.
Doesn't mean you have to accept it. That's why I want
Dr.
to tell you
Gorka.
about a special lady, Leah from Ohio, and her Relief Factor story. One Sunday, Leah was sitting on the couch in so much pain, she was literally in tears. That's when she decided to try Relief Factor. Just 8 days later, she found relief, and she continued to get better and better. To quote her, she said, "I am truly amazed at this product. Like me, who after 9, almost 10 years, almost a decade of low back pain, lost that pain thanks to Relief Factor. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, could help you feel and live better every day. Get the 3-week quick starter pack at relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. It all comes with a feel better or your money back guarantee. That number, 1-800-4-RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
We are all, of course, familiar with the concept of ordering a great steak. You sit down in a steakhouse, you order the great steak just how you want it done. You may be less comfortable with ordering your great steak over the internet, but let me tell you something. You will not find better steaks than you will order at riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. Riverbend Ranch is a real ranch. It's out west, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. Big ranch. Sounds like Trump. Big, it's big. Huge. It is. And the steaks are fantastic. Why? Because the owner of the ranch buys his black Angus beef at market based upon their genetic markers for perfect marbling. That is why, in addition to other reasons, like he grazes it on his own grassland, feeds it his own feed, build his own processing plant so it doesn't traumatize the beef by shipping it to market, that every cut is USDA choice and prime, no hormones, no antibiotics ever. You can order every month. You can order every other month. The prices are not that much higher than your grocery, and the meat is much better quality. riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley, riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. yesterday named his running mate. The reason why he did it, multiple reasons. She's really rich. Her name is Nicole Shanahan. She's 38 years old. She used to be married to one of the founders of Google. And her money and the fact that she's now his official running mate will help RFK Jr. get on ballots in many states besides the one he's on right now, which is Utah. This, of course, terrifies the Democrats because they know Joe Biden cannot afford to lose any Democratic voters in any swing states, given the fact that he won, what was it, Nevada? He won by, I think, 33,000 votes. Georgia, he won by 10 or 11,000. Same story in Arizona. So if RFK pulls his votes away from him, or if these rumors are true that blacks and Hispanics are going to vote more for Trump than they did before, not more for Trump than Biden, but more for Trump than they did before, could be a problem for Joe Biden. And Nicole Shanahan, well, she's articulate. Here she is yesterday saying why the independent ticket of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was attractive to her. She's smart. Elitism, celebrity, and win at all costs. Is there ever a better demonstration of that than this cut from Joe Biden yesterday, where he's interrupted while he's mumbling and bumbling by pro-Palestinian protesters? If you think protests against Israel going into Rafah and eradicating the last of the Hamas terrorists are going to diminish, that clip right there is going to further embolden the whack jobs who think that it is inhumane for Israel to go in and kill the people who went into Israel as terrorists and killed innocent women and children, and who still hold, by the way, over 100 hostages. One freed hostage, a woman, sat down for an interview with the New York Times, 8 hours. Here is a snippet. I don't have a Times membership, but Dana Perino of Fox was reading from the article today. Remember, Jamal Bowman, Ilhan Omar, all of them tell us, oh, they're not torturing the hostages in Gaza. No, they're treating them so humanely. Really? Here's someone who was a hostage, was among the hostages released, Dana Perino, reading from the story in the New York Times.
Torture, violence, and assaults at the hands of Hamas. In one harrowing account, she tells the Times, he came towards me and shoved the gun at my forehead. After hitting Miss Susanna and forcing her to remove her towel, Muhammad groped her, sat her on the edge of the bathtub, and hit her again, she said. And then he, with a gun pointed at me, forced me to commit a sexual act on him.
Now, every major media outlet reads the New York Times like their Bible every day. It is their Bible of wokeism. Will any of them report on this tonight? You know the answer to that is no, because there is a very robust undercurrent of anti-Semitism in our country, on our college campuses and in our major media. And they will not report on this because it counters their narrative, because they are not interested in truth. They are interested in only their own narrative ideology and zealotry and getting Joe Biden reelected. That is why people hate the media. That is why people do not believe the media. Trey Gallagher did a great job of laying this out last night in a segment that he calls Common Sense.
Laptop was Russian disinformation, and Michael Brown was murdered. And Chuck Todd has the nerve to say Ronna McDaniel has credibility issues. Joy Reid got caught posting bigoted statements on social media and blamed hackers. After former CIA Director John Brennan lied to Congress, naturally, MSNBC hired him. If Adam Schiff retired from Congress tomorrow, they'd hire him too. Not because he lied, but because he lied about the right people. Those on the right. Ronna didn't get pushed out for not being honest. She got pushed out for not being a Democrat. Common sense thinks if honesty is truly MSNBC's Rubicon, stop lying about it.
You know, he left out NBC News personnel. Al Sharpton still has a show on NBC. Al Sharpton, the fomenter of the Crown Heights riots that killed people and destroyed property. How about Brian Williams, who told the fanciful tale of his own heroic acts in either the Iraq or the Afghanistan military actions by our military, and it was all totally fabricated? He had a show. They let him back on. When their lies are exposed, they do nothing. This is why Trump resonated with people in 2016 when he referred to the news media as the fake news media, and why he referred to them as the enemy of the people. Now, I heard today someone excoriate a caller to their radio program when the caller said the press is the enemy of the people. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say the press is the enemy of the people because that's a Stalin-esque term. And that means that, you know, the press would be willing to like put a bullet in somebody's head because that's what Stalin did. Okay, first of all, you're allowed to take a phrase and generally apply it without it applying specifically to something that was said in the past. If you're a prisoner to that phrase and that's what you think it means, fine. But it can mean different things to different people. But let's say it means the same thing to different people. Do you really think that the people who've done and who do and who continue to do and advocate for doing all the despicable things I talked about in the last segment, sexually mutilating children, all in the name of gender ideology, sucking the brains out of children and tearing them literally limb by limb from their mother's womb, at any point in a pregnancy, do you really think people who advocate for that and cheerlead it and celebrate it would not, if they thought you had to be eliminated in order for their agenda to survive, do you really think they wouldn't put a bullet in your head if they thought they could get away with it? Really? You think that's a bridge too far for him? I don't. I think Joy Reid would happily do that. I think Jen Psaki would happily do that. I think any of the deviants and demonic people on that network at NBC and other networks, by the way, would have no problem doing that. They wouldn't want to bear any personal cost for it because not a single one of them has a shred of courage or valor to stand up for what they believe in. But I have no doubt in my mind that they would imprison you or take you out if they could.
Plan on attending Ohio Christian University as a new traditional student this fall semester at the Circleville campus. You can receive a $5,000 tuition scholarship for only $25.
All right, that'll do it for today. We will be back tomorrow. We will not be here Friday because that is, of course, Good Friday. And if you don't know that it is Good Friday, then you need to get in touch with things that really matter in your life. I appreciate you guys watching. I don't know if you watch because you agree or watch because you disagree. I don't. Doesn't matter to me why.
Kath and I knew
but these are super consequential times for our country, and
found out she tried heroin.
If we don't speak up now, we're never going to have the opportunity to. So, I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool 100% unabashed Trump guy. He is the better choice of the two we appear to have this fall.
Where families find
and it's not even close.
Find us at 98.90.
That is why we'll support it.
Download our app.
100%.
24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1. Upper Arlington.
Have a great day.
Columbus.